What is happening, everybody? Trey here, and today reactions to the classics. It's time for another full album reaction to Sublime. I recently, or earlier this year, did 40 Ounces to Freedom, and now we're gonna do their second record today, Robbin The Hood, which, man, Sublime keeps these awesome album title names on deck, I'm telling you. And I want to shout out our longtime friend, Sublime fan, and patron of the channel for suggesting this today, Shane. Thank you so much, Shane. I know you're a huge Sublime fan, and this record means a lot to you, so I'm excited to be able to dive into it and see what we have in store. So enough talk, man. Let's just get into the quick facts of this record. If you don't know, Sublime was an American reggae rock and ska punk band from Long Beach, California, formed in 1988. Their lineup unchanged until the breakup consisted of Bradley Nowell on vocals and guitar, Eric Wilson on the bass, and Bud Goff on the drums. And Lou Dog, Nowell's Dalmatian, was the mascot of the band. And unfortunately, Bradley passed away due to heroin overdose in '96, and the band had to break up. They released 3 studio records, 1 live album, 5 compilation records, and 1 box set. Although their first 2 albums, as I already mentioned, 40 Ounces to Freedom and this one, Robbin The Hood, were quite popular in the US, they did not experience major commercial success until 1996 with their self-titled third album. Really famous cover with like the back tattoo of Sublime. I think a lot of people, growing up in that era know that album. That record was released 2 months after Bradley's death, and it peaked at number 13. They have sold, though, over 18 million records. About this album, it is, as I mentioned, their second record released in '94. It's notable for having low production values. The album sleeve even boasts of its 13 self-produced 4-track home recordings, as well as including multiple samples and lyrics from other artists. And if you watch the 40 Ounces to Freedom reaction, or are familiar with that record, you know that those samples come in quite a bit in Sublime's early work. The album also features Raleigh soliloquies, say that 10 times fast, y'all, selections from a rant recorded by a man with schizophrenia named Raleigh Theodore Sakers. Some of the songs on the album contain parts that were later reused by the band on other records. For example, the chord progression in the instrumental Lincoln Highway Dub was featured again on their hit Santeria, and elements of Work That We Do would later appear on the Under My Voodoo. Incidentally, it was during the recording of Robbin The Hood that the band recorded demos of What I Got and Garden Grove. All songs here are going to be written by Sublime unless otherwise noted. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. Before we do, everybody, if you like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That helps us out. And hit that big red subscribe button if you like what you see. We upload every single day here. There is something for every music lover here. And due to copyright, the music will not be in this YouTube video found whenever you try to upload, full albums. It usually gets blocked, unfortunately. But there is a link to Vimeo where you can view the full thing with the music, or if you're just wanting to see my thoughts on the tracks and already know this, you can just stick around here, whatever floats your boat, man. But we're going to start with Waiting for Bud. Shane had write-ups on some of these tracks, and I'll note those. He said it's a nice little instrumental, and Bud Goff was the name of their drummer. And I'm also going to listen to the next track, Steady B Dub, which Shane notes is the first of 2 dubs on the album, contains samples of Badfish and Bring the Beat Back by Steady B. Also, the line Music from Jamaica, All the Love That I Found, Pull Over, There's a Reason Why My Soul's Unsound, was later used in Garden Grove. Just since these there are a lot of shorter tunes, I might combine a couple tracks in here, y'all. But all that to say, got the lyrics pulled up, ready to enjoy some Sublime here. Thank you to Shane, and let's get it. All right, y'all, a little 1-2 punch to start the record. I think Waiting for Bud, quite self-explanatory. Just a 1-minute instrumental, man. I thought Eric Wilson was the highlight there, just laying down the bass work, just kind of getting us ready for the record. And then we go into Steady B Loop Dub, and I enjoyed I'm not familiar with any Steady B work, but it kind of has that 80s hip-hop beat to it, like the little breakdowns in there. And then those last 2 lines, which I noted at the start, where it just strips back and lets Bradley go a cappella, man. Music from Jamaica, All the Love That I Found, pull over. There's a reason why my soul's unsound. And knowing Bradley's life and how it unfortunately ended, I'm curious, as we go through this, to see if there are any lyrics like that kind of point to that heartbreak, that struggle with addiction that's in there, that unrest. And you sometimes can hesitate and maybe read too much into that whenever you know how the story ends and looking back on their work. But I thought that was a very poignant line right there. And like I said, man, enjoyed the instrumental on that. And now we're going to go to that first Raleigh soliloquy as we got right here, man. And Shane said, your first taste of the Raleigh skits, I won't spoil it, but I crack up when he says, I'll try 5. Well, now you piqued my interest, Shane. You piqued my interest. Let's listen to this first part of the soliloquy. All right, Raleigh soliloquy part 1, man. I was not expecting the vulgarity coming in from Mr. Raleigh here. And, you can tell just by his talking, being in the mental health field. I've talked to people who, obviously had mental illness right here. And, since he had schizophrenia, you can kind of see some of the things that he's conjuring up. I highly doubt old Christine Gonteric even knew who this guy was. But, you get in those types of delusions and whatnot going through. And, man, he's just going through pretty much going after everybody, going after the systems right here, noting that you're molecular matter. I constructed you. F you. I made you up. You didn't make me up. You got it backwards. A lot of passion in Raleigh right here. And, then he turns his attention to old Christine here, who apparently pleased Mr. Raleigh some time back ago, and he wants that to happen again. Mentions he wants the 50G from her, and if she can't do that, I'll try 10. If not, hey, I'll just settle for the $5,000 right here. Definitely a bit of an out there skit and track, and man, that got me geared up to hear parts 2 and 3 that we got on here later on the record. And now, y'all, we got Pull Shark, only a minute long. Shane said I suggest having the Raleigh skit transition into this track. I'm sorry, Shane, I didn't read ahead on this with the notes that Sean sent me. But he says this song gives me chills when he says, one day I'm gonna lose the war. So let's see what we got here. Wow, Pull Shark here, and kind of piggybacking off what I said earlier about reading in hindsight, that line, and I can see why Shane pointed it out now that I heard the song, one day I'm gonna lose the war, knowing that Bradley, did end up losing the war to drug addiction and heroin, man. It's that line is a bit sobering for sure, of course. But now I've got the needle and I can shake, but I can't breathe. I take it away, but I want more and more. I mean, how honest, and just his delivery right there to really bring that and showcase that to the world. Not a lot of people are that open with their addictions, man, and it's such a tough thing to break away from. And it's sad that Bradley recognized that, but also recognized that he probably wasn't going to be able to pull away from that. Musically here, had that punk hard edge to it, which I think for a song and a subject matter like this works quite well. Now, y'all, we're going to go to Steppin Razor, and on this one, Shane notes it's a funky reggae song. It also contains a sample of Steely Dan's Do It Again. All right, Steppin Razor bringing it here. What a awesome instrumental, from the synthesizer that I believe Eric Wilson was playing to that very pleasant guitar tone. Gave it that funky flair to it, and as I was kind of reading along, I see this was actually written all the way back in 1967 and later recorded by the reggae legend Peter Tosh. So I don't know the original. I'll have to go look at it, but whatever the case may be, I think Sublime knocked it out of the park with this one. And just that concept, I'm like a Steppin Razor. I've never heard that phrase before, but a Steppin Razor, man, that's a dangerous weapon right there. You don't want a razor that's just lying around. And so if you're a Steppin Razor, man, that means you're sharp, you're dangerous, as the chorus so said. So yeah, nice track right there, man. And now we're gonna go up to Greatest Hits, which Shane said is a bona fide classic So let's see what we got in store here. Wow, greatest hits right here. Starting off instrumentally, man, the groove on this was fantastic. Wilson, I think, was the star instrumentally here, laying down just such a thick bass line right there. I quite enjoyed it, and a bit of an upbeat track here, and yet when you really dive into the lyricism, you again see Bradley's struggle with substance use. He notes, wake up in the morning and it's hard to live. He says, every single day it's getting harder to live, but I would be up for being down with a hoe. Lord knows that I got Mic Control, a little throwback to their song Mic Control here. And then he notes, looking at making money, how I know, won't be no man of me. In my bed I watch TV, I'm drunk by noon, but that's okay, I'll be president someday. And then he shouts out Bert Suzanka, who is the lead singer of the Ziggins, who of course come into play in the outro when it says it's the Ziggins' greatest hits right here. Whereas in the first chorus he says got my greatest hits, and I think that hits thing, obviously a smart way to play on music. Oh, this is my greatest hits, and drugs. It's time to get my hits in and my fix, so to speak, man. And I think all that stress and pressure is evident in this track. Is the band making money? All my friends drink alcohol. I'm too drunk to light the bong. I'm too stoned to write this song. And though it sounds well in context with the music going on, that's a almost, I don't want to go so far to say a cry for help, so to speak, but I think you could read it as such. So yet again, man, powerful song. Quite enjoyed that one. And next up, y'all, we're going to the first track that's over 3 minutes long here, containing a sample from Primal Scream. We have Free Loop, and Shane says that this song holds especially for him, a special place in his heart. Him and his friend, who unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, Mike, used to listen to this a lot, and and enjoy their love of this track, man. So I just want to give a shout out to Mike. Rest in peace to you, my friend. From what Shane tells me, seems like you were a great dude and a great friend to that. So this one's for Mike, man, and let's get it. All right, Free Loop, or as Shane and Mike used to call it back in the day, the sneaky song right there. And man, Mike had good taste, Shane, I'll tell you that, because this song takes some of the best parts, I think, of Sublime, their use of sampling and kind of distorting the sound there. I'm not familiar with the Primal Scream track here. I know of the band, but I don't think that tune. But it kind of had a bit of that psychedelic haziness mixed with the turntables and just all the different samples that Sublime threw in there, man. The rhythm especially, it seemed to switch every 20-30 seconds or so. Kept the song lively and fresh, and just a very groovy tune, if I can throw it back to the 70s right there, man. So I quite enjoyed that instrumental, and I think Sublime's a good example of groups that use instrumentals not just to kind of fill up time or do this or that, but to really use them with a purpose, and can stand there obviously with the songs that have lyrics in them as well. So rest in peace again to Mike, man. Thank you, Shane, for sharing that story with us. Glad y'all could bond over this track and Sublime in general, man. And we'll keep this thing rolling. We'll do a little 1-2 punch right here with Cue Ball, which is again under a minute, and then we'll go into the track Saw Red, where we have a little guest appearance by Gwen Stefani, who Shane notes said she thought Bradley was black before doing this song together. That's pretty comical right there. So let's get this 1-2 punch going. All right, Cue Ball and Saw Red. Don't have much to say on Cue Ball. They're obviously rappers, man. I'm not familiar with either Cue Ball or Badass right here. But just a short 1-minute tune. Saw Red, though, I was really impressed with, man. I thought the chemistry between Bradley and Gwen worked quite well. I loved the almost handoff in the song, but between them, I'm gonna go a couple lines and hand it off to you, and vice versa. Gwen notes at the start, every day I love him just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Every day I love him just a little bit more, and he loves me the same. And then Bradley comes back and says the same thing, but switches it to every day I love her just a little bit more. Quick tempo on this, really leaning into that ska punk sound right there. Quick tempo. I enjoyed the guitar work, man, coming in fast on the chorus as well. Baby, if you want to get low, then Gwen coming in with her great voice. I thought she sounded fantastic. Oh, baby, if you want to get high, it makes no sense at all. I saw red. One more secret lover that I shot dead. So that kind of brings the intensity on this track as well, man. And just kind of the contrast in here. You say it's black, but I can't believe you. And if I say it's white, you say I'm just trying to deceive you. So again, kind of that tension in the relationship right there. And that final line, girls don't go crazy. Oh, girls don't go crazy when men use you. And then Gwen says, woman, hold your man tight. If it makes you feel right, it's your own life. So, I like that male-female perspective that we had on this song. And I wouldn't be surprised if that winds up as one of my favorites at the end. But now we're going to go up to Work That We Do. Shane says that he loves this track, but it's definitely out there. So let's see how out there it is. All right, Work That We Do, bringing it here. And I can see how Shane says it's a bit out there, and it's a production quality. It has that almost demo-like quality to it. It's all the way back to what I said at the start, how 13 of them were produced on that, 4-track home recorder. And here we again get a little peek into the mind of Bradley here. He notes that we've seen it all. The lies won't let you. I've got 14 miles to go. I've got rhythm, common sense. I've got the stove, but I won't want to come around our love. So he says, if you are rich, I'm going to hang you on the wall. And when I find you, I'm going to get into your loving arms today. He notes, and now in 94, we're going to lie some more. In 1994, we're going to die some more. Is it ever going to be the last show? It's going to be the last straw. And then the chorus, that's work that we have to do. So here, I'm just kind of getting the vibe of this thing's never going to stop. On Greatest Hits, he kind of noted the stress that he's under. And here, I think we really hone in on work that is stressing him out and almost never ends, especially for a band that's starting off trying to get going, man. It's that everyday freaking hustle and struggle to push on through and hope that you can get your break. So I can understand where Bradley's coming from with that, and it fit well to almost the detached nature of the production. And I think that Sublime's good at putting good instrumentals with the lyrical content in their songs, and this one's no different, man. So I'm with you, Shane. I actually dug that one. And now we're going to the Lincoln Highway dub, the precursor to Sublime's biggest song, Santeria. The intro is 30 seconds. The chord progressions, melody, and elements of the guitar solo were later used in Santeria. So let's get into this one. Just a gorgeous instrumental. Just the interplay between Eric Wilson's fantastic bass and then probably Bradley's best guitar work, I think, up to this point, or maybe the most melodic. Maybe that's a better way to say it. And just that intro talking about the old the Lincoln Highway. There's apparently some rumblings that they found who was talking here on the Sublime Reddit, but I don't know if it's confirmed. Apparently it's some guy named George Preston, who's from Iowa. So who knows, man? Who knows? But all in all, a very strong instrumental here, and that's one I think you could turn on any type of occasion and just get lost in a bit. And now we're gonna go back to Pull Shark, but this time gonna be acoustic version. So it was just the regular version was powerful, and then we'll just do a little double shot here with Cisco Kid, which Shane recently suggested on one of our live streams. Be sure to check that out. Follow us on Twitch, man. We stream multiple times a week. Always a fun time with a lot of music lovers. It has an awesome door sample of When the Music's Over, dialogue from Scarface, and clips from the Cisco Kid. So we'll just get that going, and then we'll we'll also just go into the Raleigh Soliloquy Part 2. We'll get a little triple shot going right here, y'all. So let's sit back and enjoy this. All right, y'all, little triple shot right there. Starting off with just Pull Shark acoustic. Already talked about the track and how powerful it was, and I think that's just heightened in an acoustic setting here where you just have Bradley, his acoustic guitar, and the vocals. Just really highlights how strong those lyrics are. And then we go into the Cisco Kid right there. I believe the only song on this I was familiar with going into this recording. And here you really showcase what you can do with sampling in music, putting in the Cisco Kid, old school TV show. The lines from there, you had a Scarface line. I think the use of that organ with the Doors was awesome. The 808 machine as well was well done, especially whenever Bradley says the 808 kick is on my hit list. Again, you have a bit, get behind the curtain of Bradley and see what he's up to. And he notes coming with the 9mm, point your gun and bullet free, because he who has the money has the authority. And then that's where we get kind of coming in with the gun thing. The 808 kick is on my hit list. I thought that was well done, and this beat's cooking like an ital dish. And then he brings that up again. Mom's words seem like yesterday, and then it goes into yet again a bit of that Cisco Kid cereal. I thought it was a strong song musically, and lyrically, though I prefer other tracks on this list. I again like to get a peek inside Bradley's mind here and kind of what he's going for. And then we go to the second Raleigh soliloquy right here, which I enjoyed more than the first, because here we got Raleigh talking with a presumably a security guard or somebody. He's just bringing it at this security guard, man. The dude's telling him to calm down, and Raleigh's going to go back to the psych ward. They go back and forth a lot, threaten to kill each other. I think the security guard didn't do a good job. In counseling, we're taught when somebody's this riled up to, you got to ease the tension, try to, bring people down a level. This security guard was like egging Raleigh on here, and then at the end we had Raleigh call the police. He was just saying, hey man, I'm just trying to record my commercial, or what did he say? It's a science fiction magazine. Raleigh's kind of all over the place right here, man. He tells the police, send him over here because I'm about to kill him in 2 seconds. Very tense situation here, man, but a very enthralling skit to say the least. And now, y'all, we're going to go up to STP, Secret Tweaker Pad, rather. Shane says it's one of his favorite Sublime songs, and it contains lyrics from I Second That Emotion by the great Smokey Robinson. So let's hear what we got. All right, the STP, man, and I think this could have been, as I was noting in the reaction as the song was going on, a single. There were no singles off this record, interestingly enough. Yet again, showcasing how great Sublime is at just switching total musical gears at the drop of a hat, man. About half the song really was leaning into that reggae style, but then the other half, man, you just come in with those bombastic drums. I thought Bud was great on the kit here, and yet again the guitars bringing it almost in a just more straight up rock and roll sense. And here you get a little note about how the STP, the old tweaker thing. I mean, with that in its name, the drug references are going to be here, and Sublime's not making any ambiguity in that right here. He even notes, want to burn my liquor store down to the ground, but I just can't leave the pad. Again, that drug pull is obviously there in a major way. And as we go on through the song here a little bit more, he notes that if his homie has his back, then we go into the chorus. All I need, look at all the love we found. I won't run and pull a one jack move. They love us for the Kingston sound. So again, a lot of self-awareness in here from Sublime, and just that fact, hey, we got each other, man. Even though we might be having these issues with drugs, we're still with each other, and we're gonna try to make it, man. And he notes that my secret tweaker pad is now the hottest dope spot in town. I just take it nice and easy. Don't want no sheriff breaking down the door to raid me. That was one of my favorite lines in there. And yeah, man, solid tune right there. I can see why you like it so much, Shane. And next up, we're gonna go to Boss DJ right here. Shane notes it's a great acoustic jam, really shows how underrated Bradley can be. Contains partial covers of Do It Twice and Waiting in Vain by the great Bob Marley. Boss DJ bringing in, gotta get the hard treatment from me here. I think this is Bradley's best and sweetest, softest vocal performance on the record here, and it fits so well with the lyrical content as well, and enjoy the diversity that we're having on this record, record. 1 minute we're going full on ska punk. The next we get a wild skit. The next we're getting into a heartfelt acoustic track like this, showcasing all the different styles that Sublime pulled off, man. He notes there that when things will be much easier to say, up on the microphone like a boss DJ, but I won't walk up upon the sea like it was dry land. Boss DJ ain't nothing but a man. And just that chorus, very simple, just 2 lines. It's so nice. I want to hear the same song twice. Just the way Bradley sung that was so sweet to the ears, man. He says, "Cause on the microphone is where I go to get my fix. Just let the lovin' take a hold, cause it will if you let it. I'm funky, not a junkie, but I know where to get it." Again, that pull between that musician life I think that Bradley had with his struggles with addiction, that theme's been popping up on the record a lot, and I think that line kind of hammers that point home, and gets some lines about love as well coming up in here. So enjoyable tune to be sure. And now we're going to I Don't Care Too Much for Reggae Dub. Shane notes on this, my favorite skit. Sounds like you're just chilling with them. They knocked on his door and arrested him for being drunk in public. Always makes me laugh. So longest song on this album here at 5:20, or I guess skit in this case. So let's hear what we got. All right, I Don't Care Too Much for Reggae Dub, and this was unique, man. Some really strong guitar work spliced in here as well, and it was interesting how they looped and sampled this conversation they were having with this woman at the start, and then brought it back where she was like, "Oh, reggae, I'm not too into reggae." And we just I think Shane's right. You feel like you're with the guys having the conversation with this woman right here, and at the end we get a little shout out where hey, y'all met Raleigh. Like, you can barely hear it at the very end. This is the type of thing where it's like you hear it once and you have a good time with it. This would be a song I'd skip if I'm listening to the album, though. I think in future listens, it did seem to go just a little too long just for me personally, but even so, it was a fun idea, and yet again a creative concept for Sublime to put in right here. And I'm with you, Shane. I thought the line that he got arrested for being drunk in public and they came and knocked down this woman's friend his door and arrested him, that was kind of comical. But next up we're going to go to Little Falling Idols, originally performed by the Falling Idols, which I believe is just an instrumental. So we'll also pair that up with All You Need, which Shane notes is another weird one I dig, and it contains a lyric from Fight Like a Brave by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So let's get a little 1-2 punch in here. All right, Falling Idols, All You Need. On Falling Idols, man, just went back to that punky type of instrumentation. It had been a little bit since we had that, so I think they placed that well in the track listing here. Not too much to say about it other than, yet again, it highlights, I think, Bradley and Eric's chemistry with each other musically. And then All You Need, yet again, kind of had that hectic, frantic, punky pace at times. Yet again, moving the tempo in the music quite a bit in this track, and apparently based off a true story where they had overslept and needed to really haul to get to the next gig in Austin here. So I kind of like the little booty Buddha type of a hollering and quick delivery style of that line, man. And Bradley really held the best note that he had this entire record whenever in the chorus, man. He says, "That's all you need," and he really held it out. I was quite impressed with that. And then get to the outro, going back really a punky, man. I gotta be real, I wanna be real, I wanna be real. I just want to kind of headbang and shout that out. So an impressive instrumental 1-2 punch right there. And now we're going to Freeway Time in the LA County Jail. Shane notes, another weird one. Shane notes, love the guitar on this one, and it contains slightly modified lyrics from Them Belly Full by Bob Marley. All right, Freeway Time in LA County Jail, which, kind of explains where our dude is here. And he's noting that he's having a tough time in here, in the cell. All I do is sleep and I dream that I'm free. He then kind of notes that he's hankering for for his a gal as well. You know, it's an angry dog is a hungry dog, and a hungry dog is an angry dog. That's our little Bob Marley, Them Belly Full. And one of my favorite lines here was, hold me baby, promise me, with no protections on my erection, I won't get no VD. Don't give me no right kind of love, no Sunday morning. I don't want no puppy love. And then he notes, a good man is a naked man, and a wicked dog is a hungry dog. So again, bringing back that kind of lyrical theme together. Musically, that guitar work, it had a bit of that bluesy type of a sound, and just the tempo was in that blues tradition, it felt. So yet again, Sublime throwing something different against the wall. And now, y'all, we're going to go to the song Mary here. And Shane notes that it's a love song to weed, I think. And Alex G also has a song named Mary, which is also a bit of a love song to weed, man. So let's see what we got. All right, Mary here. And this is one I think you could read either way. A love note to old Mary Jane right here. Or there's also some lines in there that make you question, oh, is Mary an actual person? Obviously talking about that he wants to, doesn't know if he can go up inside of you tonight. You know, obviously the sexual connotations of that. And he even notes, yes, she gave me head. So in there, who knows? Whatever the case may be. Didn't expect this to be that stripped back acoustic type of tune, but I think it worked well, man. Not going to be a favorite of mine or anything, but a solid tune. And we're going to finish this out, y'all, with a little 1-2 punch. We got our last soliloquy by the great Raleigh right here, and then we're going to the secret track, which Shane said on the CD you have to wait like a full 10 minutes after the Raleigh skit until this fades in. We got the track Don't Push. So really interested to hear that. And afterwards, y'all, I'll give my favorite tracks on this record an overall score. So let's finish this bad boy out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, finishing out Robbin The Hood here. We got the last bit of the Raleigh soliloquy, man. And he's just telling us that we don't know what love is, man. You don't know what love is until you learn the meaning of the blues, until you've had a love you had to lose. Very well said, Raleigh, right there. Short and sweet. And then we go into a bit of an alternate version of Don't Push, which was on 40 Ounces to Freedom, and I enjoyed it there. Here, you know, I think a couple different lyrics and whatnot, and then at the end, I don't even know what we had. We stripped everything back. Well, went a little acoustic action. It was just pleasant to the ear, man, and kind of wrapped up, I think, this record in a strong way. So now we're going to go to my favorite tracks on this record. I will just kind of take it from the top. Pool Shark. Did I like the original or I'm probably going to go the acoustic version of Pool Shark. Just, I'm a sucker for whenever artists are just so open and honest with their feelings, man, and beliefs, and Bradley definitely was there. Greatest Hits was another one. I don't think that's going to be a huge shock. Saw Red, I think the interplay between Gwen and Bradley, and it was a quick song, a hair under 2 minutes, man, but they packed a punch, and I like that male-female dichotomy and perspective that we had. So that was pretty tight. Got to show some love to Cisco Kid as well. I think that was probably the best use of sampling on this record. They're taking in things from other musicians, from movies, from TV shows, and making it into their own unique Sublime track. I also quite loved Boss DJ. That was probably my favorite track on this record, actually. So those would be my favorites. And now to my overall score of the record. This is another strong effort, I think, by Sublime, though it's not up to the level, in my opinion, of their debut, 40 Ounces to Freedom. It's still quite consistent, quite diverse, and the creativity was here. You have musings on addiction, on just the stresses of life, but you also have a lot of fun skits in here. You have guys that aren't taking themselves too seriously, which is another thing that I can appreciate. I think it was sequenced quite well, differing up our genres, where we're going big into the ska punk, then let's throw it back into a skit type of thing, and let's go maybe acoustic. So I thought they switched switched it up quite well. I think it did dip in those last 4 or 5 tracks a bit, but all that to say, man, still a good record. I'm gonna be at about a 6.5, 6.75 for me on first listen, and I think on 40 Ounces to Freedom I was at a 7.75 or an 8. So even though it is a step down, I still enjoyed listening to it, and the creativity that was on display with Sublime. You never know what one song from another is gonna have, and usually they'll have you laughing in one song and then thinking or kind of getting in your feelings in another, and Robbin the Hood displayed that. So let me know, y'all, your favorite tracks from this record. Do you like it more than 40 Ounces to Freedom? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to give some love to Shane as well for suggesting this for RTTC, man. And until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy listening, and I will see you next time.